إن الحمد لله إن الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله الأنبياء والمرسلين أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني ويفقهوا قولي. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. So today we are going to go through the planning for the Hajj of 2026, uh, concentrating much more on the Nusuk registration. So Nusuk process, as we discussed last time, many people consider this to be pretty cumbersome. People have found challenges with it, but we want to assure you that with our guidance, we know where the pitfalls are, where the challenges are, and we will work with each member, inshallah ta'ala, that joins our webinars, that joins our sessions, inshallah ta'ala. So just relax, don't worry about it. We know how to work through this process. We will guide you. It is not complicated if you follow our steps, inshallah ta'ala. So in the last session, we talked about a high-level Hajj process. We went into the different hotels and the Mina camp layout, how the zoning of the hotels are, and how the Mina camp layout is, and how it affects the package cost. We went through some of this information, and we also shared the schedule of the Precious Path, the webinars that are upcoming, inshallah ta'ala, inshallah, in the next several months. We are going to continuously keep coming back to you with webinars, online sessions, etc., etc. So the summary you can find in this PPT web summary here, inshallah ta'ala. You can find the summary of this of the presentation from last Saturday, inshallah ta'ala. So today we are going to review and get a little bit deeper into the Nusuk's registration process, even though we did really release a video that goes step by step on the Nusuk registration. But today, again, we will repeat that. We will go over each one of the steps, inshallah ta'ala. And at the end, we'll take a question and answer. Okay. So for the question and answer, you have several options. You can put it into the chat. We will review that at the end, or we'll open up the mic. You can ask the questions online. Or if you have put it already into our QA portal, we'll take it there also, inshallah ta'ala. So before we get started, just we want to talk about the essence of the Hajj. We reviewed last time this essence of the Hajj, and we shared the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the different ayahs in Surah Baqarah talks about the essence of the Hajj by repeatedly saying during, before, during, and after the Hajj, commemorate me, commemorate me, commemorate me. Repeatedly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about commemorating Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as part of the Hajj. So commemorate in different meanings that we have picked up means follow me, celebrate me, contemplate about me, but with devotion and dedication. So what I would like people to do is for a minute or two, stop worrying about the Nusuk process. As I said, we will help you. We'll guide you through that one. Stop worrying about the Nusuk process. Stop worrying about how things will work out during the Hajj, etc. We are here to guide you and walk you through all of that one. Okay, inshallah. So for a minute or two, close your eyes and think about what you're going to experience during the Hajj, inshallah. So last week we talked about uh, the the feeling of being on the floor of the mataf, doing the tawaf of the Kaaba. Today, let's kind of contemplate, think about what it feels like to be performing the sa'i. So for just a minute, I'm going to suggest close your eyes and imagine walking the path that Bibi Hajira did, trying to locate for water for her little baby. Little baby. There was no water. It was an open desert. So just imagine you're commemorating while you're doing the sa'i, you're commemorating the action of the mother that is desperate to find the water for her baby. And this is where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to think about him while doing it and how he blessed her based on her action, based on her anxiety with the water of Zamzam, which is an eternal well, basically, mashallah, mashallah, subhanahu wa ta'ala. So just imagine this part. So when you do this kind of contemplation and do this throughout the process of that you're preparing for Hajj, going through the process of Nusuk, going through the rest of the process, even while doing the Hajj itself, contemplate that. The challenges, the difficulties you encounter will become minimal. You will not feel that one, but you need to start valuing the essence of the Hajj, inshallah ta'ala. But again, as I said, don't worry about it. We are here to help you through the entire process. Our team is helping people not for the sake of any monetary gains or anything. We are dedicated volunteers. We have people who are mostly from the IT field. Our whole goal is to help each and every Haji, whether you go in the group that we suggest or not. Whichever way you go, we want to help you and guide you through the entire process of registration, picking a package, buying a package, the e-wallet process, the entire process. And then after that, we also will, inshallah, train you through the logistics, through the fiqh part, the logistics, etc., all the way to the time that you're ready to travel, inshallah ta'ala. This is our goal. This is what we endeavor for. So do not worry. We are here with you. We will walk you through this, inshallah. So last week we talked about the high-level Hajj process. Okay, basically the Nusuk registration, the verification process. Then you're going to review the packages, the shopping cart that you're going to put the package into, e-wallet. We'll get in details on each one of these things later. Don't worry about it. Okay, and but today, we want to concentrate on the Nusuk registration process and the verification process. So for now, don't worry about this part of it here. Do not worry about this one. Just relax. Just relax. We will get into a lot more detail. Our future webinars, we are going to get into each one of this topic in much more detail. We are going to walk you through each one of them. We are here to guide you. So do not worry about this part right now. For right now, let's just concentrate on the Nusuk registration. Okay. So the first step in the Nusuk registration is preparing the documentation. Okay. This is the first step. The two key documentation that you need to prepare is one is the passport. And when you scan the passport, please avoid taking a picture on your phone. It can be crooked, it can be the visibility could be not correct, etc. It is best if you can scan it on a scanner. You can go to a library, you can go to one of the copy shops, you can go to UPS, FedEx offices, etc. They will scan it. They may charge you $1, $2, whatever they charge you, but get a clean copy. The passport copy, the first page has to be exactly in this kind of layout. You have to find it. It is very, very important that you get it something similar to this. The digital number that you find at the bottom, it's very important that they are legible. It has to be completely legible and it has to be pretty much like this, okay? And then the requirements are the dimension has to be 800 by 400, 800 horizontal, 400 pixels. This is the maximum they will allow. Okay, it is not like it has to be exactly 800 by 400, but this is the maximum that's allowed. The file size has to be within 1 MB. Okay, and this is the critical part. That's very important that you all understand. The passport has to be valid at least until November 2026. That is 6 months from your travel date. The travel date will be sometimes in May. So your passport has to be valid 6 months from the month of May. Look at your passport. Please open up your passport and look at it. Make sure it is valid. If it is not valid, apply for renewing of the passport immediately today. It generally, sometimes it can be within 2 weeks, within 3 weeks, but it is best that you do it today. We get the questions answered. Can we just go ahead and register now with the old passport, then come back and correct with the new passport? We would not suggest you do that, because anytime you go back and change your passport or any information, it'll kick back into the verification process. Okay. So if your registration has been approved, gone through the verification, and you go and change the passport, it'll lock it back into the verification process, and then if that could potentially delay. So our recommendation is immediately put it for renewal if your passport is not valid until November of 2026. The second document that is required is your personal photo. Okay, the dimension for the personal photo is 200 by 200, and it also has to be within 1 megabyte, and it has to follow these guidelines. White background, okay, 2 inch by 2 inch size. Okay, it's very, very important that you follow this one. People have tried to take pictures on their phone and think that they can make it work. Most of the cases it will fail. Please do not cause any delays on this. Okay, so these are the two required documents. Now, a third document would sometimes be required. Okay, the other thing is the format is only PNG or JPG. So when you get the documents and when you save it, make sure you save it as either PNG or JPG. A third document that could become necessary if your citizenship and residency are different. For example, if you have the citizenship of Bangladesh, for example, and you are on a green card holder residing in United States, in that case, you need to have a residency proof. Okay, so this is something that becomes necessary if your citizenship and residency are different. So any one of these things are acceptable for residency proof. And again, I want to repeat, this is not necessary, this is not required if you are passport holder of the same country where you're residing. Okay, for example, if you have a US passport and you're living somewhere in United States, you don't need to. Or if you are a British citizen living in London, you don't need this residency proof. This is only when citizenship and residency are different. Any of these type of documents here, residency permit, driving license, etc., are acceptable. Again, the dimension is 800 by 400, and the file size also is 1 megabyte. There are different types of things. Just for example, I'm giving here. Again, the requirement here is when you scan it, make sure you scan it cleanly so that it gets all the information that is there clearly onto the scanned image, inshallah ta'ala. So these are the three documents, two documents, and the third one only if necessary would be required. So one of the challenge that gets into is the pixels. How do you fix the pixels and how do you get the size? Okay, so you can use any of the image tools such as Paint on the Windows or the Paintbrush on the Mac. You can bring up the, like for example here on the Paint on the Windows system, you can bring up this one. There is a resizing button here. You would click that one, and then you would fix the pixels here. Okay, you'd select the pixels here, and then you would fix the pixels here, 800 by 400 or 200 by 200, and then you would select OK in this thing. While doing it, monitor to make sure that once you're done, it is following the pixel that you required, and the size is within the required size that we discussed earlier. Now, before you save this one, make sure the quality has not been lost. The legibility has still got to be there, that you're not missed out on any information. It should be very clearly visible. Otherwise, again, we are going to run into the challenge of getting rejected. Now, let's start into the registration. So the registration is through the Hajj Nusuk website. This is not your application that comes on Nusuk on Android or iPhone, etc. This is on your browser. Please remember this one. Not the app. This is the browser. On the browser, this is a Nusuk website, which is basically hajj.nusuk.sa. Now, if you receive a link from anybody, this is not just for this one, link from anybody, make sure to look and make sure that there are no funny characters in this thing. We have seen people, scammers, who have replaced this A, for example, with a special character A. So to you, it looks like Hajj, but it's really taking you into some other site. Be careful about this, okay? So once you get this thing, click on the start registration, and then you create an account. The way you create an account is you select the residency, country of the residency, which for people who are from United States, you would select United States or England for people from England, etc., etc. Okay, this is country of residency, not country of nationality. Please remember that. This is country of residency. Okay, so it's important that you select this one, and then you type the email that you have access to. Please do not put the email that belongs to someone else. Then, OTP code, etc., will become a challenging issue. So make sure you select you insert the email address that you personally have access to. And then you check all these boxes because they are all required. and then you select this one here that you're not a robot, and then you'd press to create an account. So the next screen that's going to come up is to create a password. You create a password following the instructions that are given at the bottom, which is minimum 8 characters, etc., etc. So once you put the password, then you confirm the password to make sure they both are following the same this one, and then you press create an account. Now, an account is created. Please bear in mind, you're going to get a confirmation email and a confirmation a message on the window on your computer. This is only indicating that an account has been created. You're not registered. You're not uploaded documents. You're not completed the whole application. All it's saying is an account in Nusuk has been created. So do not stop here. You need to move forward. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to go back and do the login. When you do the login, now you're ready to start uploading the document. You're going to get to the screen here that says upload the document. These two will show up for everybody, okay, where your citizenship and this thing is the same. So you would attach a passport by clicking an upload document, and then you select the document wherever you saved for the passport, and then for the personal photo, the same thing. Okay. So once you do that, you move to the next one, the summary screen. So what if the scan of the document is successful, it'll take you straight here. If not, it'll tell you the scan failed and you need to resubmit it. Look at your scan. Make sure it is clear, it's clean, it's following all the formats that we discussed earlier. If not, go back and recorrect and correct it and resubmit it, inshallah. So once you come here, just review the information. Now, one key part you need to understand, the information that's in here comes directly from the passport. Whatever is in the passport is what you need to submit. Do not go in here and say, well, my name is Farid Yusuf Ahmed, but it doesn't have Yusuf in it, so I need to go and put Yusuf here. Please do not do that. If the passport does not have Yusuf in it, you're not going to go change it here. Okay? So whatever is in the passport is what should be in here, nothing else. Whether it is right or wrong, this has to match your passport. As long as it matches passport, you don't need to make any changes. But if you feel like somehow the scan has not correctly scanned the data and there is an error in it, you can always click this edit button here and change the information here to match the passport. Remember this information, again, I want to repeat, because we have found in many cases people have gone in here and said, wait a minute, my name is not this. They made a mistake in passport, so I will change it here. You cannot do that. This has to match exactly what is in the passport. So once you do that, then on that summary screen that we just showed here, if you scroll to the bottom of this screen here, you will see this here. You will see the passport has been attached, the photo has been attached, and then you basically click all these buttons here, and then you're ready to move on to the next screen. You would press next here. Now, if you have additional family members that you want to add to this account, the people that will select the same package as what you will be selecting. People who are in the same account will have to select one package that goes for the entire members in that account. Okay. So as long as you have additional family members, you press this add family member and you'd go through the same process that you did. When you press this add family member, and it'll ask you for an email address, that email address will be sent a verification. Once you accept that verification, then you can come back here and add the family member. Okay, just bear that in mind. And again, for each family member, the same documentation is required: passport, photo, and if necessary, the residency documentation. So once you get all these things, you're ready to move to the next step. Now, just to point out here, in case if the verification fails and they want you to resubmit the passport copy or a personal photo or the residency permit, you'd come to the summary screen, you'd come here, and here you can do a view to see if what was the problem with the image, or you can delete here and it'll allow you to resubmit here. So this is how you re-upload the documents if it becomes necessary. Then the next few screens are basically application screens. Just follow the path here. Most of the questions should be no, excepting in some cases yes here, but it should be mostly no. Hopefully, inshallah ta'ala, complete the documentation. And then there is a medical history form here. Medical history form specifically talks about chronic diseases. This is only about chronic diseases. Remember, the definition of the chronic disease is something that requires a regular, continuous medical attention. Medical attention does not necessarily mean you have to take medicines. Okay, medical attention mean where a doctor's visit is required, such as in case of if people have the need to go dialysis, you have to go to dialysis 3 times a week, for example. That is a medical attention, basically. Okay, so other than that, you should be careful answering this form here. If you need help from your doctor, please feel free to get help from them. Then the last screen, final screen, is summary, which is basically for your review. You review the information and make sure again that it matches your passport. If it matches your passport, you should be ready to submit the document. If you feel like something needs to be modified, you can use the edit here and go forward, inshallah. So once you confirm all this, you will get a message that says application submitted successfully. This is where you have completed the registration for you as well as the family members if you've gone through the whole uploading document information. Now you sit and wait for the verification process. So after this one, this is where you wait for the verification process. You will wait for the verification. The verification right now has not started. We expect the verification to happen sometime in the month of November and December, later this month, possibly sometime towards uh, the second, third week of November is when we expect the verification to start. You will get the verification. If it's valid, you will move forward. If there are corrections required, you will be asked to make the corrections. The instruction that I just went through is also in a document that we have released. There is a video that we have released that has this information, inshallah ta'ala. Okay. Now, we went through some of this information. I'm trying to go through this quickly so that to allow for question and answer sessions if there are any questions. Now, the package price, as we have discussed it many times at the last call, is basically it's dependent on the hotel, how far it is from the haram, what zone it is in, the hotel rating 3 to 5 star, and the camp, whether it is Al Mosim, Al Kabsh, or Kidana. We went into a lot more detail here. So the ranges, these are approximate ranges. To repeat again, these are just approximate estimates. Okay, the actual price can only be found when the ministry releases the packages on the Nusuk platform. Okay. Until then, we are only sharing this information so that you can start preparing from a financial perspective. So just to be very careful, this is the only purpose we have so that we can guide you and so that you can start preparing, inshallah ta'ala. We have continuous webinars that are coming up. So as I said before, relax, don't worry, don't get excited about the Nusuk process. We will walk you through each one of the steps as we walked you through the registration. We are here to help you. We do not want you to get excited. We do not want people to get discouraged. We know the challenges. We know the challenges. We know the challenges that people went through last year, the year before, and before that. So it is not a breeze, but we also are here to help you. And some of the challenges that we have gone through last few years, we have shared it with the ministry, we have shared it with the service provider. In some cases, we have received confirmation of how they are looking at making changes. We are hoping, inshallah ta'ala, improvements will be made into next year. From some of the service providers, we have already received confirmation of how they are going to fix some of the challenges that the hujjaj faced with them, inshallah ta'ala. So we are hopeful that some of this will get improved, but even otherwise, we are here to guide you through. So please do not get too excited about it. Just follow our webinars, attend our webinars, and be willing to ask questions. We are here to answer your questions, inshallah ta'ala. So going right into the Q&A, let us open up let me allow for participants to Give me a minute. I'm opening up the mic for everybody. So while I'm doing that, some of the questions that are asked to is about, in the last few days, I know there have been issues with the website itself. Okay, the website was having some issues. There were problems with it, and that is being worked on because I do know that uh, the last few days they were making some changes that was. That was causing issues. People had problems getting into it. But our hope is, inshallah, that has been resolved, and you should be able to get in there and start doing updating your information, inshallah ta'ala. Okay. So you can mute yourself, but if you do, please raise your hand and let's try to do it in an orderly manner. If you have questions, you can ask the questions. Or I see there are some questions in the chat. Let me quickly go through this one. Um, Ask if there is an expected date for the application approval. Again, as I said, the application approval we are expecting to happen in the next few weeks. They have not started the verification process, so do not worry about it. If you have submitted your registration, just relax. Be patient for a few more weeks. They are going through lots of, we are expecting some changes to come through, some updates to come through, but not in the website itself, but in the process. So there are lots of discussions going on. We are keeping close eye on this thing. There is a Hajj exhibition planned for November 9th in Jeddah. We are closely monitoring that also. We will, inshallah, bring all those updates, inshallah ta'ala, as soon as possible. Again, the verification process has not started. We expect this to be sometime in the second to third week of November, inshallah ta'ala. Okay. So I have an message here. I got an email this week saying my documents, this thing, try to log in on my account or my wife's account. I think you messaged me yesterday. The website was down yesterday. If you're continuing to have this issue, message me later message me tomorrow because I'm traveling today. I will get into a session with you and look at it as to why you're seeing this one, inshallah ta'ala. So I will walk you through this thing. Either I or someone from my team will do this. We will get into a online session and we'll try to help this with you on this thing, inshallah. Is there an age limit and disability? From a disability perspective, no, there is no issue on the disability part. They do not restrict anybody because of the disability. There is no higher age limit, but there is a lower age limit. One has to be above 12. 12 and up is a requirement that has been there in the last several years. We expect the same thing here. We do not know of any higher age limit. Okay, we do not know of that. Now, talking about disability, I just want to make sure everyone understands the Hajj ministry and the service providers will provide a wheelchair, but they do not have an assisted wheelchair system. Please be aware of that. So if there is a need for a person, for somebody to push the wheelchair, there is a challenge. That is not something that the service providers don't make it available, and it is difficult for any group to dedicate a person to push the wheelchair. So just be aware of it when you're making plans. Um, in God forbid, if a person ends up needing a wheelchair in the last minute there, we encourage our hujjaj. This is something that we have done in the last few years to help each other out. So that will be done. But if you require from the get go, please reconsider it, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, now there is another question. Jazakallah khair for this wonderful webinar. Shukran for this feedback. When is the ideal time to have recommended vaccinations? Excellent question. Okay. The only vaccination that is required, I want to differentiate between required and recommended. Okay. Well, the only required vaccination is meningitis. Our recommendation is wait for the meningitis recommendation until about a month and a half before your travel time. Okay. So sometime in the month of March is when I would suggest looking into a meningitis vaccination, but it has to be at least 10 days before your travel time. Okay. So that's a requirement that it has to be 10 days. We definitely will require you to take, we'll suggest and require that you take it at least a month before the travel date, because in many times when you take vaccination, there are higher chances of getting temperature, body ache, etc. So better you take it ahead of time, get things cleared out. Okay. Recommended vaccination, the same thing. The only recommended vaccination, the other that is recommended is the flu shot. Okay. Otherwise, as of right now, it's only meningitis that is required. Assalamu alaikum. Do I need a credit card for the e-wallet? You don't need a credit card, but it is recommended you get a credit card, because if you use the bank account to put the money, e-wallet is nothing but a purse. In the purse, you can put the money from different sources: one credit card, multiple credit card, debit card, bank account, etc., etc. Okay, so you can use any source to put the money into the purse, which is e-wallet. Okay, now if you use a bank account, generally bank accounts are very finicky about transferring funds from a bank account into the e-wallet or any other purse, basically. Okay, so that many banks block it, and then you have to go through calling the fraud department, etc., etc. It does become a bit of a challenge. So our recommendation is get credit card, but get the credit card, look for credit card that does not have foreign transaction fee, and preferably get credit card that is from a larger banks, so that you do not run into issue with the transfer, because the smaller banks, they have to go through another clearing house bank, and then that becomes a bit of a challenge. So preferably try to get credit card from bigger banks such as Chase, Citibank, etc., etc. So avoid credit cards from credit unions, etc., because credit unions cannot send funds directly into a foreign account. So they will have to go through Bank of America, Chase, Citibank, etc., etc., the higher banks, and that creates delays, basically. Does a pregnant woman do Hajj? Okay, there are restrictions about when you get closer to the pregnancy from a medical perspective, okay? But from a fiqh perspective, I'm not aware of any restriction for a pregnant woman performing Hajj. You have to discuss this with your medical professional, your doctor, as to when is it that you can travel. It's a travel part that's the key part here. Okay, so please consult your doctor on this thing and make sure that it's okay for you to do that. How long is the vaccination valid? I had mine a year ago. Okay, if you had a meningitis shot, there are two types of meningitis shots. One meningitis shot is valid for 3 years, the other one is valid for 5 years. So if you had it last year, you should be good, inshallah ta'ala. Let's just see. Does anybody have questions on the webinar? If you want, go ahead and unmute and ask the question, please. Anyone? Anybody on the webinar, you want to unmute and ask the question? Feel free to ask the question. I mean, we are one big family. Remember that. Okay, there is no reason for you to be hesitant. I see one more question on the chat. What about debit card from Bank of America? The challenge with the debit card is debit cards have a limitation, okay, of how much you can transfer. Generally, it's $500 to $1,000. So packages, as we said, looked at earlier, are anywhere from $8, $10, $12, $13,000 per person. So $500 to $1,000 will not work. So debit card are not a good option. It's a credit card or a bank account. Those are the two options to fund the e-wallet. Okay. While people are still thinking about asking questions, let me see. There were some questions that were asked earlier. Okay, let's see. Shifting and non-shifting packages. Okay. Very quickly, shifting packages are basically packages which will either keep you close to Haram before the Hajj or after the Hajj, but during the Hajj, move you out of the hotel. For example, if the package starts you off staying in Swistel across from Haram on this 5th, 6th of Dhul Hijjah, which is a few days before Dhul Hijjah, they will move you from Swistel to another location close to Azizia or somewhere else. Okay, so that is called shifting. Non-shifting is something that you stay in the same hotel throughout your Hajj period, from the time you come into Makkah and up to the time you leave from Makkah. That is called non-shifting packages. Shifting packages, they will move you from the hotel, whichever hotel you're staying in, to another hotel, generally a few days before the Hajj time. Okay. There are also shifting packages that will start in Azizia, and then after the Hajj, they will move you close to Haram. Those are also there. So, shifting packages is where your hotel will move before or after the Hajj. Let's see, there is a question here. How will we upload passport pictures in a perfect size they asked for? Uh, we went through this thing. First thing is you scan the picture, preferably from a regular scanner. Okay, that is the first thing. Secondly, for you to resize it, use either there are image tools, or there are actually passport picture tools that you can also use. Okay, but if you have a clean scanned image, you can use the image tools on your computer, such as the paint or the paintbrush, and move it around, and you can do that. We can also, inshallah ta'ala, in one of the next webinars, we will go through specifically and show how you can possibly do this using your phone. We will do this, inshallah ta'ala. We'll record it and we'll show it, inshallah ta'ala. Okay. But in the meantime, try to use your scanner and your paint or paintbrush to perfectly size it, inshallah ta'ala. Thank you for all the great information. If all the registrations were successful and the requirement, is it guaranteed you'll go to the Hajj? No, you're not guaranteed to go to Hajj just because your registration has been successful. The reason is because the registration being successful just means your account and your information has been logged into the system. Okay. The next step that comes is when the packages are released, you need to go buy the package as long as the packages are available. Okay. The reason it doesn't get guaranteed is because every country has a quota of visas. Okay. For example, United States has something like $3,000 to $5,000, and it keeps changing. The ministry sometimes just adds a few thousand additional visas, etc. So it's very hard to pinpoint and say what is the quota. So each country has a quota. Okay, Hajj visa quota. As soon as that Hajj visa quota exhausts, then the packages cannot be purchased anymore. Okay. So just because your registration is successful, but that the registration being successful allows you to the next stage of adding the funds into the e-wallet and then trying to buy a package. Okay, that's what it allows. I'm sorry I could not give a better answer. I wish I could say that as long as your this thing is successful, you are going to get a package. Unfortunately, that's not how the system works. I understand the pain, I understand the frustration, but that is just how it is basically. Okay. Let's see. Is it possible to scan the check? Is it possible to scan the check? No, because the way you add the funds is by using your bank account number. You go and tell the Nusuk, the e-wallet, that you want to fund the e-wallet from your bank account. They will give you a IBAN number, and that you will use that information to put the money from your bank into the e-wallet. Okay, we will go through the e-wallet process in one of our later webinars. Just give us a little bit of time, because we want to make sure we give you correct information accurately with a demo, inshallah ta'ala. So just give us, in the next webinar, we will cover the e-wallet. Actually, we are holding back doing the e-wallet because we are waiting for ministry to release update on the e-wallet. E-wallet is something that has always caused challenges for people, so we are expecting the ministry to improve it. We do not have information of the most current process for the e-wallet, so just give us a few weeks until we get an updated e-wallet process, and then we will go through that in much more detail. I can answer the question from a high level, but exactly how you do the process, we will go through that, inshallah ta'ala. When to start the registration? You start the registration right now. You should be doing the registration right now using the website that I shared before, hajj.nusuk.sa. You should be performing the registration. And as I shared earlier, we already have released a video on how to register, etc. Please follow that. I went through today, review this video if you need to. Inshallah, we'll release this video in the next, probably by the end of the day or early tomorrow. You can go through this and you should be doing the registration immediately. All right, there's a question. Would you please also send the WhatsApp group link? Inshallah ta'ala, I will do that. Okay, WhatsApp group link. Interesting. I'm not sure why you're not able to join. I will share that again, inshallah ta'ala. Okay. Let me see. It is basically, it's very simple. It's a tiny URL. Uh, Let me type it in here. If there is somebody else here who has that one, you can please go ahead and share it. Uh, I can do it, but I was hoping somebody would be. I'm typing the URL. Just bear with me. So while I do this, PPT. Okay, that is the link to join our WhatsApp community group, and the link to register if somebody uh, does not have it. To register with us, it is PPT. That is the link to register, inshallah ta'ala. Okay. All right. If no other questions, we can go ahead and wrap up, inshallah. We will continue to have our weekly webinar, inshallah ta'ala. So just bear with us. We are waiting for more information. As we get updates, every week is going to be new updates. Okay. So we are going to continuously keep updating the information. So keep on top of it, keep our group this thing. One of the things that I want to highlight, our group is dedicated to providing assistance to hujjaj. There is no financial benefit in us doing this one. We want to do this to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So please help us. Please help us. Spread the word so that they can join and benefit from our guidance. Okay, we are not looking for any monetary benefit here. We are volunteers. We have IT professionals mostly in our group. We are out here to help everyone, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, we're going to wrap up. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Wal asr. Innal insana lafi khusr. Illa alladhina amanu wa amilu salihati wa tawasaw bil haqqi wa tawasaw bis sabr. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.